Hey, I'm Lux ATL, and I provide good times for bad girls worldwide. Come with me and this gang of wild, beautiful broads to the land of fire and ice. That's right, Iceland. At the very beginning of October 2023, I landed in Iceland for what's gotta be my 20th or more strip trip. I went straight to our pad in Reykjavik to prepare for the 16 guests that would be arriving in mere hours. For the first half of this trip, we'd be stationed in Iceland's capital, so I had to make sure we had a penthouse with a great view. Once the Stripcoven descends upon Reykjavik, you know it's time to put on the cocktail dresses and get a 5-star dinner at the Food Cellar. The Arctic Char was my favorite. After a leisurely evening of fine dining and cocktails, we gotta head to the Magic Ice Bar. Sure, it's kitschy, but the gram demands it. The Magic Ice Bar is essentially a collection of ice sculptures and, yes, an ice bar in the heart of downtown Reykjavik. Included in the price of admission is a blue drink served in a cup made of ice. Gotta say, it is delicious. After a night of fine dining and ice cocktails, why, it's time for our first of many catered meals with this delicious breakfast. The food in Iceland was some of the best that I've had through my travels worldwide. I love planning these strip trips for my guests. And for our first full day, we are starting off with adventure. That's right, get your hearts pounding, because we are about to take these ATVs through the lava fields. After hitting us with instructions on how to handle these badass quads, the folks from 4x4 Adventures Iceland took us on a 1-hour-long adventure, and that is steam coming up from the ground, and this is the Reykjanes Peninsula. I hope I said that right. This ATV trip was a great way to start Stripcoven Iceland. It was a little bit scary, it bonded the homies, and it gave us an amazing glimpse of the incredible, otherworldly, volcanic, treeless, moss-covered landscape that is Iceland. Yeah, we about to hop off the ATVs and head to the Blue Lagoon, but first, let's check out some of the amazing scenery on the way. Here on the coastline of the Reykjanes Peninsula, you see just craggy, black, volcanic rocks, and if you look over here, a bride. LOL, wedding crashers. After a wild morning of exploration, it was time to head to the Blue Lagoon. We sprung for the Retreat Spa. The Retreat Spa package is over $500 a head, and you're not allowed to take photos there. So what you're about to see is the general area of the Blue Lagoon. However, I can say I do recommend spending the money for the Retreat Spa experience. You get to kick it in a whole private area of the Blue Lagoon. There is barely anybody there. You get access to a restaurant. You get your own really nice changing room. Of course you get a free cocktail, and you know we were putting them mimosas back. And you get the Blue Lagoon experience, which is a series of scrubs and masks that you apply to yourself in this beautiful dark cave area. 10 out of 10, would recommend, loved this experience. We got lit in that lagoon all fucking day. What better way to wind down our first full day than a beautiful display of the Northern Lights from the balcony of our danky-wanky penthouse in Reykjavik. Day 3 is Stripcoven Iceland, city tour, cultural sites of Reykjavik. Y'all know we had to hit up that famous cathedral. Next up, the Sun Voyager, a modern work of art made to look like a Viking ship. President's House. And it wouldn't be a trip to Reykjavik without the Phallological Museum. That's right, this is the Museum of Dicks and Wieners. All different wieners of all different types of creatures are on display here. The informational plaques on the wall are both hilarious, revolting, and incredibly informative. That is me with the penis of a sperm whale. Many of the wieners here look like tools of torture from a nightmarish hellscape. Well, I'm just talking to you on my dick phone. After a rollicking day in the city, we head off to the countryside for the Ingólfsskáli Viking Restaurant. Utterly fucking epic. Located in South Iceland, just 45 minutes outside of Reykjavik, this Viking turf house features traditional Viking fare. You better be adventurous and hungry. This place was a vibe. You can see inside, you feel like a whole Viking in this joint. We ordered the Viking feast, which features herring, salmon, lamb, and of course, cured horse. Had to pull through with a steak platter that's ribeye, rack of lamb, and pork belly. And these hearty sides of carrots, mushrooms, and potatoes. Definitely get the mead. It comes in an animal horn. Toasting to another great day in Iceland. Day 4, baby, starts with adventure and ends with luxury. Kicked the day off by forcing my husband to help lug all my guests' bags from the Reykjavik penthouse and put them into the van, because today we are exploring the Golden Circle. We're going to start with Thingvellir National Park. Thingvellir is perhaps most famous for featuring the crack between the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. So what you see us walking through here is we're walking between two continents. It's an easy hike. Almost anyone can do it. As you can see, it's boardwalk or paved, but the scenery is wild and beautiful, as is true of most all of Iceland. Next up on the Golden Circle tour, it's snack time at the Geothermal Bakery in Lagavatten. Lord, I hope I'm saying this right. Anywho, at this geothermal bakery, they cook the bread in the hot sand. It takes 24 hours for one of these loaves of rye bread to cook. And when they dig it out, they cool it off by putting it in this cold water. A really nice guide explains how it's cooked, and then she lets us all get a whiff of this Christmassy, spicy, sweet bread. If you're wondering, hey, do you get to eat it? Hell yeah, we get to eat it. Y'all gonna love the butter in Iceland. Creamy and delicious. Ooh, she takes that bread out just a steaming. She was slicing that loaf, baby. Every member of Stripcoven Iceland was sitting there waiting. Look at the look on my face. Look at my face. Find somebody that looks at you the way I look at this geothermal bread. After this delicious stop on our tour, next up is another natural wonder, the geyser. You gotta see it to believe it. It erupts about every 5 minutes. Next up on the Golden Circle tour is perhaps the most impressive natural wonder I've ever seen in my very traveled life, and that is the majestic Gulfoss waterfall. It must be seen to be believed. Look at the scale of the people compared to this waterfall. What a way to cap off a day of hiking, adventure, and mind-bending natural wonders. And after all this adventuring, you know, we gotta head straight to our luxury lodge in the south of Iceland, where our private chef greets us with this spread of snacks. The first half of Stripcoven Iceland has been all about adventure. Now it's time for luxury and relaxation in this dank private lodge located in the Golden Circle. We slept about 20 people in this joint. Come on a tour with me. One thing about your girl Lux ATL, I'm gonna provide you with luxurious, unforgettable, iconic properties on strip trips. And this Úlfljótsskáli Lodge, hope I said that right, is no exception. This lodge is absolutely filled to the brim with artwork, luxury. There's a whole closet just packed full of robes. Reportedly, the Úlfljótsskáli Lodge here is where Justin Bieber stayed when in South Iceland. Our favorite thing about this lodge was the outdoor space. That hot tub seats about 10 or 12 people. And the ladies of Stripcoven Iceland certainly gave it a workout. This majestic landscape provided the perfect backdrop for the parade of glamorous photo shoots and princess gowns that followed. Every guest on every strip trip receives a glamorous photo shoot with resident photographer Cindy Harder Sims. Of the dozens of strip trips that Cindy has shot for me, I gotta say, these photos are my favorite. It's your girl, Lux ATL, looking like a whole Icelandic princess. Anywho, back to the lodge, because I still ain't showed you the downstairs. Here's the rec room, want to play some ping pong, but my favorite part is the in-house spa. After a morning of looking beautiful and freezing your tits outside, why not join me in this in-house sauna and sweat your ass off? For the brave babes, a cold plunge. We capped off our epic week in Iceland with a sexy, formal, multi-course dinner. My guests return again and again to travel the world with me on these strip trips, and at this point, many of them have become close friends. Decadence, luxury, pampering, a frickin' break, that's what we provide. Stories by the fire, fellowship, an excuse to look beautiful. But the chef's kiss on this trip? The Northern Lights going utterly ham on our final night in Iceland. We saw this display in early October while staying in a lodge in the Golden Circle out there in the wilderness. 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend. If you're looking for an otherworldly trip, Iceland delivers. Thanks for traveling with me again. It's your girl, Lux ATL.